2023 was the year I fully committed to decluttering my entire house. I went from a borderline hoarder into a minimalist-ish. Hear me out. I use the term minimalist lightly, as I do think that there's this notion about minimalism and just minimalists in general that they basically own nothing. While some minimalists literally have a bed in their bedroom, that is not me. I am still on my minimalism journey and I have more than the average minimal mom. So I wanted to just preface this by telling you two things. One, I never envisioned in a million years to have a minimal home. I loved shopping when I was younger and I would honestly spend $700 paychecks on clothes when I was 13. Ask my mom, she can attest to this. The second thing is what minimalism means to me. So to me, minimalism is learning to let go of the things in your home and learning to live with less, not nothing, while also being very intentional about what you allow into your home, knowing that everything in your home is something you have to manage. To me, it's creating a calming space that you love to come home to, enjoying experiences over things, having a simplified home so you can just get your time back to do the things that you truly love. I am here today to tell you my story. When I first went down the rabbit hole of minimalism, I was fascinated by this different way of living, and I very soon realized that minimalism is different for everybody. Learning to live with less is a new way of thinking, but it has the ability to completely transform your life, taking you from an overwhelmed mom with no time at all to being less overstimulated and having more time and patience for your family and to do the things that you love to do. Did you know that the average American household has 300,000 items in it? It's no wonder we are overstimulated and overwhelmed in our homes. Furthermore, of those items, we only use about 20% of them regularly, which means you could learn to live with 80% less of the stuff in your home. These are the statistics that stood out to me while I was researching the idea of minimalism. I think my entryway makeover is a prime example of why I was an overstimulated mom. Check out this before and after. Does looking at one cause you more stress and anxiety? Because I know this to be true for myself. And I am so happy that I filmed this all and brought you guys on the journey in 2023 when I first started, as I can look back on this and think, wow, it is crazy how much I have gotten rid of. I reached rock bottom. When we moved across the country into a home with less storage, I realized how much extra stuff we had. With the idea that the house was supposed to be very temporary, I chose to wait a year, as we would be buying a bigger house anyway. At the time, I was running numerous businesses while managing 2 little kids under the age of 5, homeschooling, and truly just trying to stay afloat as my husband was gone constantly. He was home physically, but not really there, as he was in school studying and just doing his best, and I am so proud of him, but it was a trying time for us, let's put it that way. I was constantly searching for the latest and greatest organization baskets and storage ideas for our small home, and I just itched to make it beautiful and aesthetically pleasing, and I had the notion that after this project or that project, or no, maybe it's the next one, that the house would feel organized or up to my standards. This left me in a constant state of discontentment and chaos in our home. Most days I was overwhelmed with the copious amounts of laundry to fold, the cleaning that needed to be done, while also juggling homeschooling and working from home. I feel like I didn't have any time to do literally anything, and I definitely didn't take care of myself, which led to daily stress. I had no patience for my children. I was constantly cranky with my husband, and again, most definitely didn't have time to do anything that I actually enjoyed doing. Something had to change. Why? Because if nothing changes, then nothing changes. Let me say that again. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. 1 year from now, 5 years from now, and so on and so forth. This was something that I learned in my direct sales business, and it stays true to me to this day. Are you where you want to be in 5 years from now? 10 years from now? Heck, next year? In 2025, when 2024 reaches an end, are you where you want to be? If not, I challenge you to start looking at changing something and maybe considering the idea of minimalism. After we'll call it the C word, hit, my highly successful business crashed before my eyes and I had to pivot. I started cleaning for clients on the side. After going into my clients' homes for months, I realized very quickly what I loved and what I didn't love about other people's homes. And I say that in the most beautiful, non-judgmental way possible. It was my life-changing aha moment. It was that moment that I realized how peaceful it was being in a more simple and minimal space. I envisioned what that could look like for me in our home daily, instead of wanting more and the idea of maximalism. Why not go against the grain? Because I'm really good at that, and focus on less. My top priority for a more simplified home was to reduce visual clutter. I hoped it would help to reduce the stress, anxiety, and overwhelming feelings that I had on a daily basis. I started ruthlessly decluttering my whole house and launched my Messy to Minimal series to hold me accountable. I started with my kids' toys because that caused me the most stress, and most people who share decluttering tips would strongly advise against starting with that big of a job. But I was committed, and in my mind, I had nothing to lose and everything to gain. After 3 years of living in chaos, my minimalism journey started. I moved through each room, each closet, each drawer to finally experience this new way of living called minimalism. After all, decluttering is a huge part of becoming a minimalist. So during this process, I constantly started to question myself. Why do we have so many toys when they don't even play with half of them? Why do I have 7+ pairs of jeans when I only ever wear 2 of them? Do I really need this, or am I just holding on to it and keeping it for X, Y, Z? I purchased a minimalism book that helped keep my mindset in check during the hardest first 30 days, which I will have linked down below, as it is truly life-changing. I knew my minimalism journey was working when I decluttered our main floor and got rid of over 50% of our items, and I started to not feel so overwhelmed in our home. From cleaning out our closets to kitchen items, work and office supplies, etc., the list truly goes on, and I had no idea what a minimal home would do for our family. But what I do know to be true is I wouldn't ever go back. 4 months into my decluttering journey, our youngest daughter broke her leg, which required a lot of my time and energy. I let things slide and, of course, allowed a lot more toys into our home to help get us through that season, and we truly didn't know how long it would last. Then, by the grace of God, she healed fully within 6 weeks, and that was, again, a true miracle. After 9 months of decluttering and simplifying our home, I made it through our entire main floor, and I just had our basement storage area left to declutter, which would have been the stuff that was previously in our garage. Then, boom, the perfect house came along for us. We bought a fixer-upper house and took a solid month to renovate it, and we chose to downsize our home so we could live by the beach. During our move, I let a lot of things slide. Things like accepting more gifts and toys for the girls to keep them occupied while we were renovating, packing, moving, all the things, as well as new housewarming gifts and just things that come with buying a new house. Next thing I know, I'm feeling overwhelmed again in our home. So I am launching Messy to Minimal 2.0, Hoarder to Minimalist. I don't know. What do you think? What should I call this series? Anyway, my point is, while I do still have some of my, well, we'll call them natural tendencies, things like accepting everything if it's free and trying to organize rather than declutter, I am 100% committed to year 2 of simplifying our home. So buckle up, my friend, and come along this journey. I'm ecstatic to launch this new series with you and hope that my story can inspire you to come along the journey with me. If any of this resonated with you, I want to encourage you to join the journey. Now, don't get me wrong, I still don't really like to use the term minimalist necessarily, but more so minimal-ish. Minimalism to me is about, again, living with intention and purpose and choosing to focus on things that truly matter in life, rather than living with only essentials, because like, who determines what essential is anyway? And learning to find that harmony within your own home with less items, which is why I think minimalism is so unique. It's not a one size fits all, and it's not a one and done thing. It's not a challenge. It's not a sprint. It is a journey. So comment below I'm in if you are ready to join me on your very own minimalist journey. And if you want to read more about my journey, you can check it out on my blog. I'll link it down below in the description. You can follow along on Instagram. I'll be sharing more so daily over there. But make sure you are subscribed as I launch this new series here in 2024, and I share some extreme decluttering motivation. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.